Week 2 SFL Season 24 kicks off this evening from beautiful Mount Olympus Stadium as the newly branded Washington Trident play host in their inaugural game to the Arizona Scorpions. Good evening, everybody. I am Mike Daggs, and with me in the booth is Gerald Smith, our stats crew tonight. Justin Reside, and get this, Gerald, Jermaine Smith in the house. Yeah. Love to see that. Along with our commissioner and producer, Cameron Irvine, you are watching the Simulation Football League on the Virtual Football Network. Gerald, how you doing tonight, man?
We got Jermaine Smith in the stats truck, and we made our way to the Great Northwest.
We sure did.
For this inaugural game of this new squad.
Yeah, our first look at the Washington Trident, sporting the red jerseys and the gray pants. I love the stripes down the side and how they actually kind of match up there. It's one thing that you don't always see is those matching stripes. I know that's a big thing in your book.
It sure is, and you know what? You know who a man who can appreciate it is Jermaine Smith himself too. So he knows about making good uniforms himself, and it is a thing of beauty. So
absolutely. So we'll get down to the field, get this one started here in Washington, the great state of Washington, as the Trident kick the ball off, and Arizona takes a knee deep back in the end zone. And that is where we see our first look at the Arizona offense this season. Gerald, it's week 2 here in the SFL, but both of these teams off in week 1. So it's week 1 for both of them as quarterback Ashley Jackson comes out onto the field for the first time to get things started with 2 backs in the backfield, 3 wide receivers set. And Jackson will throw to get the season started with a one-handed grab by Yayo Montana, who gets the snag out of the air and gets the first down. An 8-yard pickup, trying to multitask, and sometimes that doesn't go well. Ashley Jackson finished last season 62% completion percentage. That was number 2 in the league, and the third best QBR at 84.7. That carry taken by Brad Jones runs for a gain of 1, sets him up with a 3rd and short.
Yeah, and Brad Jones, who ran for nearly 900 yards last season as well, with an average of almost 4 yards per carry.
See if he can get at least 1 here. Ball is taken across the line again by DJ Moses II. He picks up the first down. Well, let's roll through the roster here for the Arizona Scorpions. We've seen the quarterback and both halfbacks, but how about fullback Bismarck Wright, along with wide receivers Donnie Hands, Buchanan Simons, who comes over from Chicago in free agency, Yayo Montana, and TJ Punk. The tight end is Will Todd. Ball is taken by Brad Jones up the right side, gets the first down. So this time I actually mean it. He takes the carry for the first down. On the offensive line, Patrick Kelly and Sean Crooked are the tackles. Kiera Storm and Kiera Sting are the guards, and Stan Clark at center.
Yeah, and way to start out those first 4 plays right there, right? Your first 3, you got yourself in second and really short, and then 3rd and short, you picked it up, and then on the very next first down play, you run for over 10 to pick up another.
This time bottled up in the backfield is Bismarck Wright. He'll get a 1-yard gain on the play, and that is about all. Rodney Panani, along with King McNeely, Doug Howard, and Tina Begin are on the defensive line for Washington. Nicholas Warner, Kappa Jones, and Nathaniel Diggs, along with TJ Harper at linebacker. That pass incomplete, sets up a 3rd down and 9. Pass broken up in the secondary by Willie Bands. The rest of the secondary is Mark Kaufman, Ryan Cook, John DeSantis, the rookie, number 4 overall pick, Maxwell Quimby, along with Albert Begin, teaming up with Willie Bands to play in the secondary here. 4 wide receiver set on 3rd and 9. Jackson to throw, pressure on its way, gets the ball, dumped down. Donnie Hands catches it, but marked for no gain. 4th down, and their first drive of the season will result in a punt.
Yeah, I thought what was the most interesting right there was John DeSantis couldn't keep still right there. He was so anxious to get out there and hit somebody, but very, very good coverage right there in the flats by Willie Bands to force his punt.
Brooks Bernard, the punter for Arizona, kicks it back to the 21-yard line, and former Louisiana Revolution quarterback, 8 seasons in the league, and now the starter for the Washington Trident, number 8, Tommy Utah, coming out onto the field with the Washington offense for the first time in their history. Utah brings his offense out in an I formation. Shane Kaufman and Christopher Dean are the halfbacks on this squad, along with Julian Gusters at fullback. Ball is handed off to Christopher Dean to get things going. Only a 1-yard pickup before Lawless gets the tackle. The rest of the offense here for Washington: wide receivers King Alexander, Johan Sutherland, Terrell Cooper. What up, Coop? Former Mexico City Aztecs. And Phil Koss, along with Azami Mihata at tight end. Utah throws, completes his first pass for Washington. That one a pickup of about 8 yards. Connecting with King Alexander. On the offensive line, Robert Thump, Scott Pancake, Bill and Phil McMillian, Charles Michael, and Dakota Butts. Quite a few offensive linemen. 3rd and 1, Gerald. Ball is taken up the right side, breaking through and getting the first down. Christopher Dean again on the carry, a nice pickup.
Yeah, and Christopher Dean was their leading rusher last season, too. I think he was a conversion over from fullback at one time. A very, very large guy. So in those short yardage situations, you want to give it to a guy like Christopher Dean, who is 6'3", 260 pounds. He's a load.
Getting up to about the 44-yard line. Ball is handed off this time to Shane Kaufman. He'll pick up a gain of 3 as we look at the Arizona Scorpion defense. D.D. Sachs, Alex Constantine, Hunter Norwood, and David Tilley on the defensive line. Sean Moore, J.R. Lawless, and Adam Wiseman coming over from Indianapolis are the linebackers. This ball taken by Dean, only for a 1-yard pickup. In the secondary, Xavier Rowe, the 3rd, Terrell Davis, Ernest McRae Sr., awesome guy. I got Everett Garrison, Rain Rie, even though I know you want to say his last name is Rowe as well. It's not. You can't just change it. And Bernard, you love this last name, Smith.
It says greatness.
It almost rhymes with greatness. Smith, greatness. Oh, wait. No, it doesn't.
It's the same.
Same thing?
Same thing.
Just ask Jermaine in stats. He'll tell you.
He knows. 100%.
He knows what's up. You Smiths got to stick together. Utah to T. Coop, getting the first down into Arizona territory.
And you can watch the poise by Tommy Utah going in the back there. Maybe that's a product of him getting hit a ton in Louisiana and learning a little bit of something to deal with it. But what he does, he throws a ball, and what happens, Terrell Cooper makes a really good play, pirouetting a little bit to bring that ball in, and now they are across midfield.
Cross midfield indeed, down to the 38-yard line. Utah to throw again, pressure on its way, getting the pass back to Cooper. Looked like the exact same play and had the exact same success.
Yeah, and you know what he did? Tommy takes about a 3 to 4 step drop, finds Coop wide open, and that's kind of uncharacteristic. You think about it from an Eddie Gage coach defense to leave receivers that open. He got right behind like the second level defenders right in front of the safety. Very, very good throw. Threw it at the right time. Gave his receiver enough time to secure the catch before getting hit.
First down and 10 from the 21. Just, 26. Just on the outer edge of the red zone. Utah under pressure again, gets it away to Cooper. A back-to-back plays inside, tackled at the 7-yard line. First and goal, Trident.
It looks like these guys, even on this drive, that they had a very, very good offseason of training together, because guess what he does? Tommy Utah was put under some pressure right there. You know what he says? My boy Coop's going to be there, and Coop come through on an out route right there, and it's got him inside the 10 at the 9.
Yeah, fantastic catch in traffic, setting him up with a first and goal. Offset eye in the backfield now. They're going to hand it off on the draw. Shane Kaufman picks up a few. Second down and goal.
And this is where I think, as you're right here on the 5, this is where when your big bodies come in handy, right? This offensive line, as you mentioned, they have 6. They can go out there and utilize those very, very large packages, what they have out now. And this is where I would think something like Gusters or Christopher Dean could potentially get a ball.
Ball is handed off, trying to force his way through. Christopher Dean gets about halfway there. 3rd down and goal, and they might have to rely on another heavy formation here to try to punch it in the last 1.5 yards.
And I do think you do it again. I do think I wouldn't be surprised to see some sort of a fullback dive right here to just go straight up the middle.
Utah under center, hands this one off, fighting through and stuffed. Stopped by Sean Moore. No gain on the play, 4th down, and they're going to have to settle for a James Troll field goal.
The big dog, Sean Moore, coming up with a very, very huge stop at 3rd down inside the 1 right there, forcing this field goal attempt.
18 yards out is up and good, and Washington strikes first. James Troll, coming off of retirement, Gerald. He was he's been in the league. This is his 5th season now. The 6'3", 215-pound kicker. He last played for the Lone Star Glory back in season 18, and I guess heard about Washington and said, you know what, I want to kick there. Here he is.
Yeah, and he's got this team its first ever points. I know they're inheriting the history, but under the actual Washington Trident brand, here they are. Got their first points.
That's it.
On the board via his leg.
Which makes James Troll the all-time leading scorer in Washington Trident history.
Not many people can say that.
Well, I don't think he'll be able to say it for a whole long time, so enjoy it while it lasts. Obviously, a lot of established history from the Motor City and St. Louis Gladiator days. Speaking of established history, TJ Punk, been in the league for quite some time as well. 10 seasons TJ Punk has been part of an SFL roster, starting all the way way long ago, back with the Mexico City Aztecs at tight end, and converted to wide receiver, and now 9 seasons with the Arizona Scorpions. 2-time All-Star player. Gets that catch, gets the first down.
Yeah, and you saw the head there, and I think Nicholas Warner expected that to fall in his hands. He kind of fell. He took himself out of the play, but kind of falling back, looking for the catch. And TJ Punk kind of just went right in front of it and took it.
Ball is handed off straight up the middle of the Brad Jones. He'll pick up a gain of 6 on the play. So we tick inside the 2-minute mark here in quarter number 1.
Yeah, and we're going to see how Arizona's going to take this second driver there, especially seeing how, Washington did 12 plays, took almost 5 minutes of game clock off. They had a methodical drive, and let's see if Arizona's going to be the answer.
Going right back down to the ground. No gain on the play, stuffed right at the line. TJ Harper getting that stop. Been with this franchise for the past couple of seasons now, in the league for 3.
And this is a situation, I think this is a big 3rd down early on in the game as we start approaching like the end of the first quarter, to see if Arizona can pick this up to keep this drive going. If not, I mean they could be looking at something kind of dangerous.
Jackson rockets it downfield, and it's caught by TJ Punk again, getting the first down, getting into Washington territory. That's how you convert a 3rd and 4.
The offensive team captain comes up with a huge catch right there, running excellent route, and especially all the time he's been in here with Ashley Jackson, for the last 9 seasons, being able to create that relationship. She trusts him, run that great route, very, very good timing. Right as he broke, she threw it, and he was there to catch it.
Ashley Jackson on the All-Star roster from season 23. Throws like that are a big part of the reason why. Jackson to throw once again. Dumps this one down smartly, makes the right read to Buchanan Simons. Steps out of bounds after a 3-yard gain. 2nd and 7.
Yeah, Buchanan Simons just couldn't get himself turned up quick enough right there to amount to anything, because he still had a few more yards, but he was just able to step out of bounds, and he had a little bit of room there to get a few more yards, but 3 is better than none.
From the 36-yard line now in Washington territory. Punk goes in motion down to the bottom. Final play of the first quarter. There's a handoff to Jones, who will get stuffed in the backfield for a 1-yard loss. That's it for quarter number 1. If you like defensive football, so far this is the game for you. Washington in their home debut, up 3-0 over the Arizona Scorpions. You're watching the Simulation Football League on the Virtual Football Network. I'm Mike Daggs. He is Gerald Smith, Justin Reside, Jermaine Smith on stats as we get our first look at the team stats here in this one. Fairly even across the board so far. Tried it much better in that average yards per play column, nearly doubling Arizona as Ashley Jackson looks to change that. That one is batted down. Could have been their first takeaway as Nicholas Warner was right in the throwing lane. It does bring a close to this drive. Are they in Cliff Allen range?
I don't think so. But look, I wouldn't trust any other linebacker across the league to actually cover out in coverage like that other than Nicholas Warner. He's a former safety, and it showed why he's really good in coverage. Got right in the way of that ball, knocked it to the ground, and forced this punt.
Yeah, and a great punt it was as that one falls down at about the 7-yard line. We'll see where they actually spot it. They put it up, looks like, at the 8. So backed up quite a bit, 92 yards away from the goal line.
And how confident are you in Washington right now, having stopped this team in Arizona, very, very good team, and now that you have the ball back, forcing the punt 2 times in a row?
Yeah. And you scored first. Granted, you got stopped at the 1-yard line on your last drive. You still showed that you can get downfield as that handoff goes up the middle, right into the waiting arms of Sean Moore and Everett Garrison. 2-yard pickup, 2nd and 8.
Look, and I'd like to see right here, especially at this yard marker, right? Just see something a little bit different. I think a play action would be great right here because I think they're only solely looking at him to run.
Wow. Christopher Dean he's just got rejected. You know, he picks up a couple, but then just gets summarily brought back behind the line of scrimmage.
And 6'5", 310 Alex Constantine just smothered him. He just was like,
he's like, nope.
Just his body engulfed the guy.
Utah back to throw on 3rd and long. Over the middle. There's T. Coop once again. The Coop gets it up at the 20-yard line, moves the chains. Not only moves the chains, Gerald, but starting backed up inside the 10. It's always a little precarious. Now they've got some breathing room and a fresh set of downs.
Look, and I know there's been a couple of balls out of you know the actual 4 catches for Terrell Cooper that Tommy Utah threw a little bit off mark, but Terrell Cooper, being the talented wide receiver that he is, able to adjust and pull it in to help out his quarterback and team and reset the downs.
Utah handing this one off. Wide open running lane for Christopher Dean as he picks up back-to-back first downs now for the Trident. Coop with one, Dean with the next.
Rie put somewhat of a little bit of a move on Rie and actually got him off balance a little bit and able to shed that tackle right off of his leg. And it's good to see a big back like that be able to put some juke moves on.
Yeah, he's a big dude. Looks like a linebacker standing back there waiting to carry the ball. Reminds me of Brandon Jacobs a little bit. Remember Brandon Jacobs?
Yes.
That's a big man too. Shane Kaufman gets the carry this time. Brought down on the play by D.D. Sachs. 2nd down and 8.
I never understood like these big backs. You can look at me like, you're a running back. That's usually like a tight end or some sort of a D end or something.
I wanted to play defensive tackle. Run this ball. Okay. 2-yard loss that time as Dean couldn't get anything going. Brings up another 3rd down and long for the Trident. See if they're able to convert this one.
Look, and if
3 and 4 so far, Gerald.
And if I'm the Arizona defense right here, I'm actually looking at Terrell Cooper.
Pressure on its way, gets the pass off to Mihata, the tight end. Picks up almost everything he needed, but 1 yard shy. And we're going to see Yultrick Rugen out to punt for the Trident.
I tell you what, for them to come out, from the 8 and get it, near the, right past the 40, approaching midfield was a pretty decent accomplishment right there for them, right? To be able to try and just flip the field back on Arizona.
They sure did. I mean, they're not going to back Arizona up to their own 8, but seeing as they started at their own 8 and now Arizona's starting at their own 29, pretty good turnaround, at minimum on that play, flipping that field back. We have made it to 2025, and that means that the 2025 SFL convention is right around the corner. It's headed to Baltimore, kicking off the league's 25th anniversary season, July 10th to the 14th. Join the SFL Nation at the rooftop pool of our host hotel, the Hyatt Regency, looking out into Baltimore's Inner Harbor. You can reserve your room now at the special group rate at simfl.net. We hope to see you all there. Pretty sure Jermaine Smith's going to be going back to his, only his second ever SFL convention, Gerald.
Yeah, the last one, I do think he
was the first one.
He was all inducted in the Hall of Fame.
Sure was.
It says greatness, the very first Hall of Fame ceremony. As Smith got inducted, there's nothing better.
Well, maybe Matt Wilson getting in during the.
Yeah, he did steal the show right at the end.
He did. He always had that way about him. Jackson with another completion to TJ Punk. So, maybe that's what it was that lured Jermaine out to the convention was, getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. So maybe we have to lure him back with something like another can of seasoning.
Oh, yeah. Well, he did tell us, pregame that he loves the season. We just give him a nice stockpile.
We'll give him a few of them.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, that's what's up. Jackson to throw. That one's incomplete, but some laundry on the field. Looks like there was a little bit of pass interference on that play.
Yeah, he just impeded the progress of the wide receiver there. I don't, from my eyes, even in real time, I don't think it's any question how he impeded the progress of the wide receiver right there. It was he can't throw his hands up and be like, yeah, I didn't do nothing.
He thinks he did.
He did a lot of something.
So a automatic first down into Washington territory at their 49. Jackson to throw again. Softer pass this time, completing it to Simons. That was their target on the last play as well. 5-yard pickup this time, 2nd and 5. 5:55 to go here in quarter number 2.
And they're doing good right here, right? They got people position, but what they did, they just got right across the 40 last time, and they actually stalled. So, we're going to see how this is going to shape up, but it is a second and pretty manageable. Oh, man, he just shut that down.
Bismarck Wright couldn't go anywhere on that one. Nathaniel Diggs, former teammate of Bismarck Wright. Diggs now here on Washington as part of the ownership group. Robert Thump, Nathaniel Diggs, and Shane Kaufman banding together to form this Washington team. Wow, what a laser thrown in to your guy, Yayo Montana. You're a big Yayo fan.
Oh, I love me some Yayo Montana, you know it. And what does Ashley do? She stands in there. They actually was able to pick up the blitz, give her enough time, and if you get man coverage on Yayo, I'm going to take Yayo every single time. Yeah. He always make the right decision to make the cut when absolutely necessary, and he does it right there to actually get themselves in field goal range now.
Especially with Ashley Jackson throwing him the ball. Look at those last 10 pass attempts, only missing 2, 8 of 10, 63 yards, and 3 of those all going for double digits. Jackson to throw again. That one doesn't go for double digits, but a little bit of yak will make it get close as he'll pick up 8 yards. Brad Jones with the catch and run.
Yeah, it looked like right initially that Brad Jones had a ton of room. He did have 8 yards worth of room, and it was pretty impressive to see the actual defense to kind of close on him really, really quick right there. But I thought there was a lot more happening there when we initially saw it get dumped out.
Ball goes back down to right. He'll pick up the first down inside the red zone now, and we get our first jaw of the ball game.
Mark Kaufman might want to go check his pants a little bit because he just got trucked, man. Like, of course, each running backs are no joke. Jeez, Bismarck Wright, 240, just ran right over him.
Ball taken by Brad Jones again. He'll pick up 3, inching closer to the end zone. Had to settle for a punt last time. Was just outside of Cliff Allen's range. He's got quite a leg on him.
Look at all the men in the box. 9 men in the box right here for the Trident.
Offset eye in the backfield for Arizona, and Ashley Jackson will throw up top, complete 1 yard shy of the line to gain. 3rd down and 1.
Man, I would have loved to see like a hot route or some sort of audible, right? You know, and you've seen a pre-snap where Ashley actually was calling a little bit of something out, maybe changing from a run to a pass right there, and it actually worked to accept. But I wanted that to go a little bit further, get that one-on-one right there with those really talented wide receivers.
Bismarck Wright stiff arms the defender, heads to the end zone and scores. Touchdown Scorpions, their first of the season.
They were so impressed with Bismarck Wright trucking a defender. They decided to give him another shot as they're getting closer from the 6-yard line. And what does he do? He comes out and shoves a fist to the face of his former teammate and Nathaniel Diggs, pushes him to the ground. So we're taking the lead in your house.
How long do you think it took the paint guy to paint that end zone? There's like some intricate detail in that end zone.
I mean, you need an artist to do that.
Like with a brush. I don't even think they can use the paint truck.
I don't know, man. We were simple down in Louisiana. We just had one color,
green
logos, green. You know what I mean? Like we made it easy on a staff. That looks like a whole month-long project. And this is an open-air stadium. Wonder how many times it rained. The Great Northwest is known for getting a lot of rain. I wonder how many times it just washed it away.
Well,
maybe they built a tent over it. Maybe we can ask.
They tarp it off in between. 4 plays, 10-play, 4-minute drive, 71 yards. As the ball is taken into the back of that picturesque end zone.
I mean, it's grass. I mean, we can obviously see that it's real grass.
Oh, yeah.
It ain't turf. Well, of course, we were indoors, too. So what we painted stayed.
Right.
Of course, when you got swamp as grass, it's not good for playing football.
All right, Washington back out onto the field now. See what they can get going. Christopher Dean stuffed at the line again. Adam Wiseman making another tackle.
And guess what it was? You might even be able to call it maybe somewhat of a TFL. They didn't get anywhere anyway, right? Because what Adam Wiseman does, he's a TFL machine. I mentioned in the Matt Wilson kickoff show.
At 23 TFLs last season, nearly an interception. But top 10 in tackles for a loss for Adam Wiseman with 9th overall ranking last season, 23 total TFLs, far and away the most of anybody that's currently here on this Arizona defense.
Yeah, the big dog almost had him a pick right there. If he could have just, got his hands fully on it. But going to see what Tommy Utah and this offense is going to do on a 3rd and long.
On their last 3rd and long, Utah not able to convert. Had to settle for a James Stroll field goal well outside field goal range here, and can't convert that one as well either, as Bernard Smith, another free agent addition coming over from Atlanta, getting that pass breakup for the Scorpions.
Yep. Tommy Utah was actually trying for Johan Sutherland there, and guess what? The greatness of a man named Smith comes in and knocks it away and forces another punt now. And now, have we seen the momentum change now? Now that Arizona was able to mount a drive and get themselves in a situation where now they're able to take the lead, the momentum's changing, and actually slowing down that offense of Washington.
Yeah, it certainly feels that way as we check the flag, a little block in the back. Clipping is the official call, which is a block in the back on that return. Will back up Arizona just a little bit.
I don't see it. Where was it? Oh, it was right there. That was senseless. That was aggressive. What are you doing, Everett Garrison? Just pushing the man in the back. It was so blatant. Like if you're gonna make that, do it within like the mess of players. He was on the outside. He just throwing to the dirt.
First down and 10. Backed up to their own 37-yard line. Oh, wow. Getting right into the backfield, but actually overran, I should say, Brad Jones. Jones able to pick up 8 and brings us to the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, and that's what it looks like. Arizona is finally getting themselves into a rhythm right here, right? A lot of the excitement in this first home game right here for the Washington Trident. A lot of emotions going for the home team and everything else, and they're able to get themselves down there and get 3 points. But Arizona weathered that early storm.
They did.
And got themselves back in a position where now they feel like they have control of this game.
Only 2 scores in this one. Washington scoring in the first quarter. Arizona scoring here in quarter number 2. Only 2 drives the whole first quarter, Gerald. I mean, Arizona's drive, their second drive started in the first quarter, but didn't end until quarter number 2. We're on drive number 5 here in the second quarter, inside the 2-minute time frame, and 3rd down and 1 coming up.
Yeah, and this is a big 3rd down, I think, for Washington, right? Even though it's a 3rd and short right here, they have to make some sort of an impact play, in a short yardage situation to keep them from converting, to try and recapture some of that momentum that they've lost.
And they do convert the 3rd down conversion. Bismarck Wright just powering his way through, 6 foot tall, but 240 pounds, the offensive rookie of the season back in season 22, getting it done.
Do you realize that a 6 foot 240 man just ran over a 6'5", 270 linebacker in TJ Harper?
And he made it look easy, too. Jackson rolls out left, throws left into traffic, and that one is complete, caught down by his feet, and Arizona will call their first timeout.
Look, and they're taking their nice time right here too, as well. So it's something. Look, and they're showing no panic. They just look really, really relaxed right now. Like I said, they weathered that storm early. They look really relaxed, especially in their play calling.
Ashley Jackson, 11 to 13 for 87 yards. 11 to 14 for 87 yards.
Yeah,
that one was just a miss.
A straight miss. I don't know. Maybe she got something in her eyeball, that one, and she just threw it. But this is what they've done pretty good. So like all game, they've actually got some decent yardage on first down to keep that second down a little bit shorter, so they're not looking at second and long and then end up in 3rd and long situations.
3 receivers split out wide up top. Jackson under pressure, hit as she throws, and the ball falls down to the turf. 3rd down and 10, and once again they are outside of Cliff Allen field goal range.
Yeah, but it's 3rd down. They got another shot to kind of close the gap a little bit, but the pressure came right on through by King McNeely right there, coming right on through and putting the pressure on us, so the ball just kind of fluttered to the ground.
TJ Punk moves down into a trip set down at the bottom. Lone receiver up top.
And they know it's man coverage at this point.
Jackson throwing down to the bottom and climbing the ladder, getting the catch. Buchanan Simons. Wow, what a catch. We'll call it the nice hands catch. Brought to you by Retroid. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands and play the only game with your player in an SFL 4K 23. Ashley Jackson getting that pass just lasered in there.
Oh, and Buchanan Simons making the splash play that they need.
There's another splash play. Buchanan Simons stretching out that 6'4" frame and plucking that ball out of the sky. That was a picturesque catch right there. That's what you want to see your receivers do. Just reach up, catch with their hands, and then bring it into their body.
Yep, and look, and that's the thing about Buchanan Simons. He's a big physical receiver, known for his splash plays, and also he has this fearless type mentality to take him right over the middle. He didn't care if he gets hit.
Oh,
wow.
That one almost went to the house, but not to Arizona's house, as that one was nearly picked off. Mark Kaufman's going to be kicking himself for not securing that ball.
And that had pick six written all over it had he brought it in.
Ashley Jackson's 3rd incompletion in the last 10 passes now. 2nd down and 10 from the 13-yard line. Arizona looking to go up 2 scores. Jackson fires, tipped, and picked. Pass was bobbled and then caught, picked off by Willie Bands. And Washington puts an end to Arizona's drive. The Trident take over at their own 4-yard line.
And I don't know if that was a good ball either by Ashley right there. It was double coverage right there. Willie Band just steps right in front of it from a safety position and tip drills it to himself to shut the drive down. And now here they are backed up to their own 4, but more importantly, they've actually got themselves in a situation where they eliminated points from Arizona being able to be put on the board and them to just increase the deficit for them. So very good job by the defense right there.
Utah in his own end zone, throws deep. Oh, gets it to Coop. Passing the 50. Can he get chased down? He does. What a huge play by the Trident. Gerald, I wasn't expecting them to do anything on this drive other than run the clock out, but Terrell Cooper with the big play.
And I do think right there as well, I don't think Arizona was expecting that as well, because when they were backed up earlier, they ran a ton right there. And what do? That connection Tommy Utah and Terrell Cooper have is something the quarterback trusting the receiver and the receiver making plays.
Xavier Rowe gets the touchdown-saving tackle. That pass up top to the 40-yard line. Saw Xavier Rowe in the chat earlier saying, put me on Coop. Well, they did. Coop's got over 100 yards.
I don't know. They may need to swap it up or something.
Careful what you ask for is all I can say.
I'm telling you, he just got there and he literally took it out of the Rowe's back pocket and ran it to the opposing 40. But they got to make something of it now that they're down here.
Second down, Utah slings this one up top. Gets that one to Julian Gusters, getting their fullback involved now. They're going to burn their final timeout.
And they're going to have to be extremely strategic right here because they done exhausted all of their timeouts, right? So, and now they're in a situation where, all right, what do? We pick up some yards. They need to make sure they have enough time to actually get their field goal unit out.
Yeah, if the clock is rolling,
especially if they don't pick it up
without a lot of time left, they will have a hard time doing that. Utah throws it. That one's picked off, going the other way now too, as Xavier Rowe says, you know what? I guess I'll just go ahead and get that ball back. Gets his own pick.
Yeah, he goes through. Look, and he actually tips it up to himself like previous there. But I do believe Tommy Utah made the wrong read right there. He had the out route somewhere that would put him inside field goal range, and the receiver could have ran out of bounds and actually preserved some of that clock. He made the wrong read. Should have went a little bit shorter, not a little bit deeper, and now they turned the ball back over to Arizona.
First down and 10 for the Scorpions, 17 seconds left. And now Jackson's going to come out throwing it too. Oh, breaks the sack, throws the ball. It's complete. Wow.
What is going
on? I thought he might break through and score. TJ Punk. Yeah, celebrate that catch. What a play, but the time's going to expire.
I don't know why Arizona would even try that. They roll out Ashley, look, and she's a very, very strong female as well, as you can tell. She actually gets there, she weathers the storm and getting hit, and guess what? Throws it down deep. I thought TJ Punk was going to keep running, but fortunate enough for Washington, he gets tackled.
The last minute of the first half.
It was crazy.
Was the best minute of this game by far. It started off a little slow. We've only got one score by each team. Arizona leads it at the half, 7-3. But that last minute, I thought that Washington was just going to run that clock out. Instead, they start going down the field. Arizona gets it back. I'm like, all right, now we're going to see him run out the clock. Nope, TJ Punk almost gets himself a touchdown. But here we are, 7-3. Your thoughts on the first half?
Yeah, look, and at first it looked like, hey, the Trident was actually going to kind of just cruise on through it, using some sort of a ball control type offense. And it worked, right? For the very first try, went down there, 12 plays, almost 5 minutes. And guess what? Here in the second half, and in the first half, guess what we had? We actually had a situation where Arizona rebounded, got their feet under them, and actually took the lead. So we're going to see what the second half brings.
Terrell Cooper with over 100 yards in the first half. We'll get the second half started in a second. Let's take a quick halftime break presented by Brakes GPT.
We just pulled a full-size Taylor Swift helmet. Shout out to all our Swifties. Travis Kelce. This is a Giants Lawrence Taylor.
Patrick Mahomes.
Chad Johnson with the Ocho Cinco.
We have a Drew Brees.
Is that an O.J. Simpson jersey?
It's an Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my goodness.
Tom Brady! Tom Brady!
Break into the world of sports memorabilia collecting with Brakes GPT, featuring signed football jerseys, helmets, photos, and more. Brakes GPT offers you a shot at winning autographed and authenticated sports memorabilia at a fraction of the price. Join the community of collectors on our Brakes GPT Facebook page and lock in your shot at hitting a humongous headliner on our site, brakesgpt.com. with arguably the most popular commercial in SFL history.
Ever. And they haven't had that advertisement for very, very long. And you know what? It's catchy. They got a nice tune. Everybody loves the Tom Brady. Chad Johnson got the Ocho Cinco as well. So it's a whole lot of goodness.
Patrick Mahomes. Sucks. All right, first down and 10 from the 26-yard line. Washington getting back to it. Christopher Dean with a loss of 1 on the carry. Couldn't even quite pass the 30-yard mark in the first half. Currently 10 carries, about 26 yards.
Yeah, and you got, on that player there, the big dog get a TFL.
Utah throws, gets it to Cooper again, crossing midfield, crossing the 40, and brought down at about the 37-yard line. His monstrous day continues. A huge first down pickup by Terrell Cooper.
It's seeming like if he puts up a little bit more numbers and throws some touchdowns in there right there with it, that might be your spotlight player for next week. Him and Tommy Utah have had such a great connection between the two today, and it's actually going pretty well. Look at Terrell Cooper. 6 receptions, 148 yards.
Absolutely monster day as Shane Kaufman gets tackled in the backfield. Tommy Utah, 7 of 10 on his last 10 pass attempts.
And he's having a really good game. His only mistake has been that interception, you know. But it hadn't deterred him.
Utah hands this one off to Christopher Dean. Gets a nice pickup. Gets half of what was needed to convert. 3rd down and 5. Damon Simeon in the chat says, "Who's this Cooper kid? This guy is absolutely balling." You know, he doesn't have any all-star appearances, which is a travesty of justice. But 6 seasons in the league. He started out with the Mexico City Aztecs. That's how I know him quite well, and has been with Motor City, and now, of course, Washington, as D.D. Sachs lives up to his namesake, gets the sack, and puts an end to a promising Washington drive.
Yeah, and D.D. Sachs comes blazing right off the edge, you know, and the running back and Brad Jones was completely outmatched and actually put him out of field goal range.
Shane Kaufman trying to block him, yeah.
You know, and come right on air. So it's like, man, it's like they were in prime position at least put some points on the board because they were in field goal range prior to that sack.
Yultrick Eugen trying to punt them back deep and falls down inside the 10-yard line. We'll wait for the official spot. That is where Arizona will take over to get their second drive started. Looks like they spot that one back at the 8.
We're going to see if Arizona's going to get a little bit gutsy, similar to what Washington did right before half, throwing it deep, because typically in this stuff you want to run yourself out of the shadow of your own goalpost. So we're going to see how they're going to approach, you know, being stuck inside their own 10.
The illustrious Will Todd in motion. Set down to the bottom of that formation. Jackson going that direction and connects to TJ Punk.
Yeah, the team captain comes up big again, but we need a replay where it's going to show Ashley Jackson taking pressure right in the face, and at the last minute, someone comes in there and kind of cuts down the actual defender right there to give that an extra little bit of second to be able to get the ball out and get down. And what do? Just like I guess they've been doing for a while. Both teams backed up that 4, throwing right out of that position. I like it.
I kind of want to know what Will Todd was doing on that play, as that run goes absolutely nowhere. I've got a special place in my heart for the tight ends on the roster, so I like to watch what they do sometimes. And Will Todd ran about 5 yards, stopped, looked back at Jackson, didn't even put his hands up, just kind of stood there and stared at him.
I don't know if you saw Will Todd on the previous play, but he just come off the line and did a tumble.
Come on, Will. Come on, man. Put your hands up at least. That pass falls incomplete. He's trying to get it to Yale, Montana, 3rd down and 10.
And this is a big 3rd down for the Washington defense, being able to, you know, if this ends up in a punt right here, they stop them right here and they can get themselves in a situation where they can probably get pretty decent field position if they get the ball back.
Jason Norwood says Will Todd is the decoy. Well, he's got to at least pretend that. Jackson on 3rd and long over the middle. There's a nice connection for a first down, going back to TJ Punk, who's also having himself quite a nice day as he approaches the 100-yard mark.
Yeah, and guess what? Look, and just like Tommy Utah looks for Terrell Cooper on those plays right here, Ashley Jackson straight looks for, you know, her team captain and TJ Punk to be able to move the chains. Look, 7 receptions, 98 yards. A touchdown, a catch is what he said. I mean, not touchdown, a first down, a catch.
Yeah. Touchdown to catch would be quite a different ball game.
Looks to be 49 points they'd have right now.
That's what that one guy did that the name escapes me at the moment that we talked about on the Wilson pregame show. Four receptions, 3 of them were touchdowns. They only use them in the red zone, I guess.
I tell you what, if I would have had those kind of stats in Louisiana by anyone, I might still own a squad.
Yeah. Alas, you did not. Pitch goes down to Brad Jones. Picks up 3 yards. They're down and 5. Both of these teams getting big chunk plays and then seemingly stalling out. You know, just watching the game, giving it that eye test you speak of, watching these two offenses, they both are looking really good. Then you look at the score and you see it's midway through the third quarter and you're like, well, what happened?
Well, you can't depend on third and long conversions either.
Yeah, like look at that. Great play to Yale, Montana, converting a 3rd and 5, getting it down to about the 35-yard line. But here we are, right outside field goal range again. Are they going to stall out again? Or are they going to get something going as we look at Jackson's updated numbers?
Look, and that play there looked like a similar play of what they did where Ashley rolled out to her left, threw it back toward her right, and it got picked off near the goal line, right? So, and now here they are kind of in field goal range, but like you can't live by the big play.
Jackson dumps this one down. Wow. Oh, man, I thought that was going to the house, man. I think you did too. Punk gets the catch, but him right there, that's the one, Ryan Cook. I thought he was going to jump that and take it.
Ryan Cook made a move, but decided to play the receiver instead of the ball. And look, oh man, it could have flipped this game up on top of its head.
Ryan Cook
picked that off.
He almost got his first pick of the season. He only had one last season, as Nathaniel Diggs has had quite enough of this advancement by Arizona. Gives the running back the cold shoulder. 3rd and 6.
We actually tried to repay him for getting stiff-armed to the ground on Bismarck Wright's touchdown run. Nathaniel said, that's enough of that, former teammate.
Take this. Jackson rolls out right, fires right to Buchanan Simons, and the pass is broken up. Good coverage by Albert Begin, forces a 4th down, and Cliff Allen on the field now. They're inside field goal range, but it's still going to be a long one, about 45 yards.
Yeah, and this is the thing, like, and what we just got finished talking about, like, both teams are kind of living on the 3rd and medium, 3rd and long conversions. You cannot live in that type of manner, right? It's only a matter of what?
Kick goes back in and is good, but it's still a 1-score game as Arizona extends their lead 10-3 over Washington. Now let's see what Washington can get going now, Gerald. Looking back at the drive summaries, Washington's very first drive of this brand of the franchise. They go 11 plays, 75 yards down the field. Sure, they had to settle for a field goal, but at the 1-yard line, like they were this close to getting in. Since that time, 7 plays and a punt, 3 plays and a punt, 4 plays and an interception, 5 plays and a punt. So, you know, if you're Yultrek Rugen, you certainly are like being part of this Trident roster because you're getting a lot of play time. But if you're the coach and the owners of this Washington roster, you're saying, I don't want to see Rugen again.
No. You don't, like, you have a punter just because it's a necessity, not because you want them to actually play.
Right.
So if I can get a scrub on the field and punt, I would do that, but you need somebody to flip the field when you need it. But guess what? If he's out there, it means you're not doing too good offensively. Yeah. And they need to kind of get back to what they did on their very first drive, where it was methodical, doing their stuff, hitting Terrell Cooper on some routes that are open. Don't look for the big play. You don't really need it right now. Look at that block.
Pass dumped down to Dean. Uses that block to gain 4, but can't gain any more. 11 play drives have resulted in 13 points. Drives of less than 11 plays, 0 points. So if they can get it going, that's the only way anybody can score.
And it's kind of funny because they've actually had a lot of big pass plays
They
that have been converted, but none of it turned into points.
No, both of these teams have 100-yard receivers on the day, and then some. So 3rd down and 4 is Trident are at risk of seeing Ultrek, Rugen again and early in this drive. Split backs now in the backfield. Utah under center, 3 receivers set. Utah will throw. Can he convert? Goes over the middle. Finds his guy, Coop. All the way down to the 30. A career day for Terrell Cooper, as he is just absolutely feasting against this Arizona secondary.
And guess what it is? Another really good chunk play, yards after the catch type situation. 170 yards on 7 receptions by Coop. And look at where they are. But like I said, you cannot live in a 3rd and long and expect to convert it at a high rate.
Nice
look at that.
Punishing run by Christopher Dean. It's like a bulldozer. I think I'm just going to call him the bulldozer from now on. I don't know if he's already got himself an official nickname, but that's mine.
Yeah, look, and I tell you what, the bulldozer just kind of put it to Smith, right? He didn't get run over. He held on to him. He held on for dear life. Bernard Smith had brought him down and stopped him short.
This time, Shane Kaufman breaking through some tacklers. Sets up a 1st down and goal right at the 10-yard line.
Julian Gusters had a great block right here. Watch that. Bam, right there. Being able to hold him and held him on, propelled him for a couple more yards. But that's what your fullback want to do. Navigate through the traffic and find that 2nd and 3rd level defender to hopefully propel your running back, onto the end zone. But here they are. And look at this. 4 wide at the 10. I don't know.
Utah hands this one off on a draw. Surging his way towards the end zone, the bulldozer for 7.
Bernard Smith was holding on for dear life.
Just going for a ride.
His teammate came and bailed him out and was able to stop him at the 2-yard line. Now, what are they going to do? They are 2 yards from potentially tying this ball game up.
Yeah.
And
they got stopped at the 1 on their first drive.
I tell you what, one of the best players in this line in this type of yards on defense is the big dog, Sean Moore.
Ball is handed off to Kaufman. Shane Kaufman can't get to where he needs to go, but Sean Moore right on cue.
Yeah, Sean Moore is one of the best goal line type defenders in the SFL. He plays the line of scrimmage extremely well, and he comes up, like you said, right on cue. Now it's 3rd and goal.
Utah to throw on 3rd down. Deep drop, throws up top into the end zone, and Christopher Dean scores the 1st touchdown for the Washington Trident.
It was a very, very good play call and patience by Tommy Utah, being able to recognize, hey, look, they're not going to be looking at the bulldozer coming out of the actual backfield. What he does, patient enough, draws that defensive line to him, and then knowing it was man covered, the linebackers couldn't really recognize where the bulldozer was, tossed it out to him, and now they have an opportunity with this extra point to actually tie the ball game up.
First reception for Christopher Dean tonight, and that one goes into the end zone for a touchdown. Extra point is up and good, and we are all tied up in what is so far been an absolutely fantastic start to week 2. 10 points apiece. Listen, it's not the highest scoring game you'll ever watch, but it certainly is one of the most exciting. How many likes do we have on this video so far? It's not enough. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and make sure you've got your notifications on so you won't miss a minute of SFL and SFLM action, and help the channel grow through your support. Speaking of the SFLM, Gerald, the minor league of season 10 starts actually just in a few days. So instead of running in the off season of the SFL, it's going to run concurrently now on Thursday nights.
It's going to be really interesting. The nickname games get to be done a little bit earlier than what they're typically done.
Yeah, extra football.
Definitely.
Listen, I'll never complain about extra football.
No, indeed not.
If you do complain about it, you're in the wrong place. Arizona looking to respond as a 1-yard pickup. Christopher Dean in the 4K23 era, 58 receptions, and that is his first receiving touchdown. Congratulations to Christopher Dean, and an important one as it's the first one for the Washington Trident as a franchise and got them right back into this ballgame. Hadn't scored since the opening drive. Hadn't really done much of anything other than feed Cooper a whole bunch of yards.
Yeah, look, and this is where they're finding a way to take down Bismarck right now, who was somewhat of a truck machine early on in the game. They're able to being able to bring them down with some of their players.
They're down in 6. Jackson rolls left, throws left. That one's incomplete, but a flag on the play, and they're going to get an automatic first down as pass interference called once again on this Washington secondary.
I do think that's a tough call. If we get a replay, we're going to see. I think it's going to be a little bit closer than what some people may think right there. Nah, he impeded him.
Yeah.
It was
that was a fair call.
Yeah, I got a late look at it. But
yeah, John DeSantis. Yeah, watching it live, it looked like just a bang play, and you want to just say, hey, ref, let him play, but you got to play within the rules. John DeSantis totally just running into Buchanan Simons. Too much contact.
It's crazy because DeSantis actually had positioning. If he wouldn't have been trying to play the receiver and play the ball, he could have very likely picked it off.
Could have been his. Jackson throws across her body into traffic. That one incomplete. Good defense on the play by Willie Bands. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Willie Bands coming up pretty big right here. We know he had an interception earlier in the game that killed a drive. Actually, inside the actual 5-yard line earlier on in the game, and he comes up and be able to knock a ball down to keep it a 2nd and long.
Short drop by Jackson. Oh, look at that! Throws it, picked off. 24, chasing 24, and he gets the tackle. A touchdown saving tackle, but a pick thrown by Jackson, her 2nd of the night, and this one gives Washington the opportunity to try to take the lead.
Albert Begin against his former teammate picks off Ashley Jackson. Knowing tendencies is very, very good. And what he does, he puts his team in a situation to take the lead.
3 quarters in the books. 10 minutes remains here in Washington. You're watching the SFL on the Virtual Football Network. I am Mike Daggs. He is Gerald Smith. Justin Reside, Jermaine Smith on stats. Our producer, Cameron Irvine, back at SFL Studios. As an updated look at the team stats shows very comparable numbers across the board, which is very complementary to the very comparable scoreboard, Gerald. 10-10 here to start the 4th quarter, but Washington with a great opportunity now to capitalize on another turnover.
And what does the dozer do? He comes in on first down, inside the red zone, and actually gets 7 yards on first down.
2nd down and 3 from the 14-yard line. Flipbacks in the backfield. Utah under center. He's going to hand this one off. He's getting hit behind the line and just too many tacklers. Shane Kaufman can't quite get there, but a 3rd down and 1. A key opportunity for the bulldozer himself, Christopher Dean, or even Julian Gusters to try to pick up that yard.
Yeah, I think right, and this is I think this actually has the dozer written all over it right here. I mean, he's averaging a really good chunk of yards, over 3 yards a carry right now on the game. So
it does indeed go to the bulldozer, and can he do it? He pushes, and they're going to give it to him. But this one's close. I would not be at all surprised to see a challenge flag come out of Eddie Gage's hands. We'll see. Currently 1st and goal, and it looks like he's going to keep that hanky in his pocket.
In my opinion, I don't know if it was challenging, but it gave him the forward progress on his initial
Kaufman
surge. Wow.
Yeah, Kaufman surges through. Speaking of surges, picks up about half. 2nd and goal from the 5. Yeah, that forward progress probably got him there. I thought he had it, then I thought he didn't, then I thought he had it again, then I thought he didn't, and then I was waiting for the flag. There was no flag, but whatever. 2nd and goal from the 4.
Like how do you do it? You got somewhat of a speeder type back in Shane Kaufman, and then you got to worry about the dozer to follow that up right here.
Dean takes it, runs into heavy traffic, and J.R. Lawless getting the stuff. 3rd down and goal. Familiar territory for Washington. They've been here a couple of times.
And you know who was there on the initial, initially hit, the dozer right there was Sean Moore coming through right there trying to get him, and Lawless comes and cleans it up. 3rd and short.
Dozer. Into the end zone. Touchdown, his 2nd of the night. And he does the Dion dance. Why not, man? Why not? Have yourself a day. 2 touchdowns, 1 on the ground, 1 through the air. and the Washington Trident take their lead back.
Look, and they gave him a lane that you can nearly drive a snowball truck through right there, being able to get him in there untouched. He just kind of rubbed a little bit of his own teammates right there, and now he's got themselves. Look, and this is a very short period of time. They've actually got themselves 14 points on the board to take the lead within the last few minutes.
6 plays, only had to go 21 yards as they capitalize with those points off of turnovers. Ashley Jackson, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions on the day, 18 of 28, about 185 yards, and now it'll be up to her to get this offense back down into scoring range to try to tie this one back up, now down a full touchdown as we look at her last 10 pass attempts. Gerald, we saw the last 10 pass attempts graphic up a couple of times in this game where it said 8 of 10 for about 74 yards. This one, 5 of 10 and 2 picks in the last 10.
Yeah, and that's not it good really at all for them if they want to kind of get it going. But look, they do have the firepower to go down there and actually score. But it seems like that Washington defense, ever since the second half started, they've actually tightened up their defense a little bit, to kind of get themselves back in it. Oh wow.
Oh wow, indeed. Brad Jones bounced around in that backfield, tackled for a 1-yard loss, and I think they're gonna have to. Trust Ashley Jackson's arm and get it back in the air.
Yeah, you have Mark Hoffman out again was right there to assist with that tackle for loss.
Jackson will throw on second down over the middle into traffic and connects with TJ Punk. Sets him up with a third down and a more manageable 2 as we look at an updated third down efficiency. Both teams doing pretty good. I mean, 10 of 14 is nothing to shake a stick at. And of course, 7 of 12 now on the other side for Washington.
Yeah, and here I am saying, hey, you can't live in the 3rd and long, but they have a pretty good conversion rate at it.
And they'll convert this one too, as Bismarck Wright picks that first down up. And what does that saying even mean? It's nothing to shake a stick at. Why? What do you get out of shaking a stick at anything? No, I'll shake a stick at that third down. Like, what? I don't even know why I said it.
I don't know. Like
it doesn't mean anything. Anyway, back to the game. Brad Jones picks up 2 up the middle. These are the fleeting thoughts that I have. They just pass through my head. I say it.
If you think, I mean, there's many different times, that you actually, I mean, you use that term in a lot of different ways. Oh, that's nothing to sneeze at. I wouldn't know what that means either. Same type of thing.
Yeah. A sneeze can be satisfying, though. Jackson throwing a Matt Wilson special. Hit as she threw.
Wow.
Oh, no. TJ Punk goes
bad.
down. I wonder if we'll get a replay what happened, because he obviously wasn't tackled on that play unless somebody hit him after the deflection, which I'm guessing it's – oh, yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
Yep.
TJ Harper decided to play headhunter and actually take TJ Punk out.
That's deflected, you say. Rips him down to the ground.
Knocks him down. And that's very huge. The leading reception getter right here. Good. 9 receptions for 102 yards for the Arizona offense, TJ Punk.
He has been the Arizona offense so far in this one. We have to try to go to the rest of their targets as that one goes to Donnie Hands. It's only I think the second time we've said his name tonight. He picks up 2. And Arizona's going to have to punt this one away. So Washington now with a huge opportunity to try to take a 2-score lead.
And they are in the driver's seat for sure right here. I was saying how Arizona was showing no panic most of the game, but they come out in the second half and they've been having a little bit of a kind of a panic. They've actually slowed themselves down with the momentum, and the momentum kind of it's now swung right back into Washington's side. Now, if Washington goes down and have that very time-consuming drive like they had on their very first drive of the game that resulted into 3 points, they could very well just ice this game away on
They
it.
sure could. First down and 10 from their own 21. Tommy Utah having a pretty efficient day, 12 of 15. It's only had 3 incomplete passes, and one of those happened to be a pick. And speaking of somebody having a good day, Christopher Dean, he earned himself a nickname and 2 touchdowns. The Bulldozer, with about 75 all-purpose yards, adds another 4 there. Second down and 4 as he helps his team start to chew some clock.
And he's doing it right here, and they're coming out with a run-heavy type formation.
Kaufman having a decent day too, picking up some yards. Not quite the same production as Dean, but he's serving his role, setting up the Trident with a 3rd down and 4, hitting the 5-minute mark here in the 4th quarter.
Look, and I'm interested to see right here, how are they going to approach this right here, right? Because you can actually run or pass out of this formation right here. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a delayed handoff.
We're going to see a Tommy Utah throw. He tried to get it back down to Terrell Cooper. You know, I understand why he may have wanted to do that. I see you shaking your head. No, I'm not sure that was the play call.
No, I don't think it's the right choice of receiver right there, right? I know he's had that quite a good thing with Terrell Cooper there, but what he didn't notice is that on the side, he actually had a running back in the flats right there that probably who could have took the 3 yards that they needed to reset the downs and keep the clock moving. You don't need to chance it, in a situation. You don't have to go for the throat right there at that point. You just have to hold on to the ball and just keep resetting the downs.
TJ Punk back out onto the field, so guess that was a short-lived injury.
Well, he got his apple slices and Gatorade in him, I guess. He didn't.
Some pickle juice.
He may have got poked in the eye.
Yeah, that happened to Matt once in a game.
Is that why he threw ducks?
Yeah, poked in the eye, never recovered. Arizona thankful for the opportunity to keep this a 1-score game. Good stop by their defense to get that ball back. 2nd down and 3.
And I do like how Arizona's approaching this right here, right? They're coming out in some of the formations that they're comfortable with. Still a lot of time. They're not under extreme pressure because they do have the ball back near midfield.
Bismarck Wright picks up another yard, sets him up with a 3rd down and 2. Regardless of how TJ Punk got injured, as a former owner and coach, if you have a guy get injured and he's like, I'm fine, I'll go back out there, do you say, all right, cool, go return this punt, get smashed here?
100%.
Oh, would you?
Yes.
If he dies, huh? 1st down picked up and pushing into Washington territory. Getting that 1st down is Bismarck Wright. Yeah, I don't know. What are you looking at me like that for?
Why? Like you say, you're good? I trust you at your word. We're paying you a lot of money. We're paying you to be on the field, not on the bench.
That's okay. All right. Jackson trying to get that one down to the bottom, but heavy traffic for Yale. As Montana is unable to secure the catch. 2nd down and 10.
And this is where I think they've been at quite often is in a 2nd and long. And they've actually got themselves a good fair yards on these 2nd and long situations. And this is where, probably half of their big splash plays are coming to 2nd and long type situations where they might be able to just find a Yayo Montana. Who knows? TJ Punk.
Jackson over the middle, connects right on cue to Will Todd.
Boy, he didn't roll on that one.
Nope. Jackson back up top again, and it's intercepted, putting another end to the drive. Former Arizona Scorpion Nathaniel Diggs says, tendencies, I know your tendencies. Gets the 3rd interception of the night off of Ashley Jackson.
And guess what happened? 2 of the 3 interceptions she's thrown has been, at the hands of her former teammates. Getting it done. Albert McGinn was the other one, and now here it is, Nathaniel Diggs getting their team the ball back. Ashley Jackson, 3 interceptions, and Washington can just ice this game away now.
They sure can. 3 minutes, 17 seconds to go. Both teams with all 3 timeouts. The bulldozer doesn't do a whole lot of bulldozing on that play as J.R. Lawless stuffs them at the line to gain. You are watching the Simulation Football League action here on the Virtual Football Network, the official network of the SFL-M, SFL, UFL, and so much more coming soon. The Virtual Football Network, where all the best virtual football lives.
And they're not shying away from coming out running heavy right here either.
Letting every second of that play clock tick away. Dean hitting the backfield, but kept those legs moving. They didn't mark him with a 1-yard loss on that first play. It looked like he may have, but regardless, he gained that one back and then one more. Probably going to let this one roll right down to the 2-minute warning. About 50% on third down efficiency for Washington. This one a 3rd and long. You know, if they do bring this to the 2-minute warning, do you come out and let Utah throw this one, or do you just run it and make them, you know, burn a timeout?
No, I don't think you actually test it. I don't think you put the ball in the air. You give it to the Dozer or Kaufman or something like that to be able to do it, to see if he can actually come up with a big run and do it, because you know the way the game is played, you don't want to give up a huge play and put yourself in a bad situation, because you work so hard to get yourself in this particular position. Don't be in a position where you throw it away.
Big 3rd down coming as Washington with a 1-touchdown lead in this one, looking to get the 1st down and make Arizona start using their timeouts. They do hand it off to Dean, who gets about half of what was needed, and Arizona will burn their 1st timeout. And now I think they might actually be okay with seeing Trek Rugen out on the field. He's going to boot this one away and try to give Arizona a long field with only 2 timeouts remaining to potentially tie the game. Washington in good position here.
Yeah, very, very good position, because, you know, I mean, look at what the defense has done the second half. They've actually picked Jackson off 2 times in the second half right here. So I'm going to trust our defense.
Another injury, Gerald.
Oh, my God. Who else is hurt?
This time it's Shane Kaufman, and that does not come at a good time for Washington.
Why is he on special teams?
Because he's fast. I don't know. I'm not sure I would have the kick or my halfback out there on punt cut. Oh, that's not true. I do. Never mind. I tell you why I have him out there, but
it's one of the most dangerous plays.
He's fine. He got poked in the eye too. There's sticks out on the field.
Well, hopefully he got to come back. We come back on the field to be in a victory formation. That's the hopes anyway.
Jackson throwing a quick pass over the middle, trying to get that one to Simons. Just overthrew her target. Might have a little bit of jitters from throwing 3 picks, but the very experienced veteran knows how to shake that off and lead a comeback drive here.
Look, and this is when you get yourself in a situation where you're actually Jackson. Now you actually make good throws. They're playing man coverage. Oh,
gets it over the middle to Simons that time. Gets the catch. Calls a timeout. Their 2nd of the second half. 1 remaining.
See, and those are the type of plays right there that they brought Buchanan Simons in for, right? To be able to come in, look, and he's making an impact already, right? 5 catches, nearly 50 yards. And we're going to see if he's actually going to come up with more big catches right here as they come out in a similar formation.
Jackson to Simons again, gets another 1st down. Gets that one up to the 36-yard line, calling their final timeout already. So any tackles in the field of play will keep the clock rolling. About a minute and a half to go here in the ball game in regulation. We might be looking at some overtime if they can find the end zone.
I'm not shy of welcoming more football.
Absolutely.
On a Friday night.
124 of you watching this game live. Sure you wouldn't mind some extra football either. Jackson trying to make that happen. Oh, and nearly throws a pick. Oh, Nicholas Warner almost ended the game.
And he's a guy that's known for kind of picking it off right there in his career. Nicholas Warner on his career actually has a lot of interceptions, him being a former safety. And he
52.
So, I mean, he's not immune to getting any of those, but here it is.
Top 30 all time.
Down.
Yep, couldn't get that one. Jackson to throw on 2nd down, goes up top, short pass to Punk. Punk with the yards after catch, picks up a total of 7. 3rd down and 3. They'll go into the hurry up at the 30-yard line. Clock continues to run. Jackson to throw. That one is complete. Gets the 1st down to Yeo, Montana at the 16-yard line, minute 10. 5-step drop back up top she goes to Punk. Punk spinning and actually stepping out of bounds. I thought he was in, Gerald.
Yeah, I thought he was still in as well, but what we had right there on the last play was a missed tackle.
Again.
Yeah, it's a missed tackle by Mark Kaufman right there. You want to tackle them in bounds. You allow them to get out of bounds, and it was so easy for them to run out to kind of, for them to be able to reset, get a little bit of a breather. You want to keep them on their toes.
2nd down and 1.
Ashley needs to be careful about going over the middle. Everything bottles up over the middle with passes. in these type of positions in yardage.
3 interceptions on the day. Jackson fires, pick number 4, and that is the ball game. Albert Begin wants to put more points up. Jackson chasing him, 50, 40, 30, 20, and tackled, but it doesn't matter. Washington takes over at the Arizona 20, and they're 2 kneel downs away from going 1-0.
Yeah, and she tried to throw it. It still stayed in the middle of the actual area of the field. And what it is, Albert Begin kind of knows where she's going to look, essentially. And what he does, picks it off and takes it down to opposing 20. It doesn't matter if they score. They're going to come out in victory formation. But that is the second interception of her 4 that come inside the 5-yard line. You cannot have those mistakes and expect to win a ball game.
Yeah.
Missed opportunities 2 times for Arizona, but credit to Washington for securing this win for their first time in this brand.
That's our breakaway play of the game, brought to you by Breaks GPT, sports memorabilia breakers and collectors. You never know whose autographed helmet or jersey you might hit. Check them out at breaksgpt.com. And Gerald, correct me if I'm wrong, 3 of those 4 interceptions came at the hand of former Arizona Scorpions.
Guess what? You actually had Albert Begin with 2 of those, and you had Nathaniel Diggs with the other, and you actually had Willie Bands securing the very first one with a tip drill to himself. What a way to kick off their very first home game for Washington, Arizona. They didn't play bad, but they didn't play really good either. They have a lot to shore up. This team this week, I know that's their first game of the season, but they are looking very similar. In Arizona, I'm speaking of, looking very similar the way how their season ended last season.
Yeah.
They cannot continue to stick with that type of formula because they are going to struggle to win games.
Absolutely. Great opening debut for the Washington Trident as they come out here and they get the win. Absolutely fantastic performance by them. Week 2 of the SFL rolls on tomorrow with a pair of matinee games featuring 4 returning playoff teams starting at 1 p.m. Eastern. Baltimore hosts Fort Worth, shortly followed by Sin City visiting Florida. The nightcap begins at 7:45 p.m. Eastern with Nashville and Carolina, along with DC, Indianapolis, all right here on the Virtual Football Network. Gerald, your final thoughts on this one?
Look, and I really think that this game turned down to just the grit and determination by the Washington Trident. They started out pretty good, and Arizona started off slow themselves, but they looked like they seemingly started to take over the game. But you know what, Washington? They actually stayed true and actually decided to say, look, we're still in this game. We just need to make necessary plays. And Arizona stumbled quite a little bit. And guess what? They got themselves in a situation where Arizona got themselves in a very bad situation, and Washington stayed on top. Arizona had too many mistakes, and Washington capitalized.
Yeah, and it was a lot of former Arizona players that just came back to haunt them now here out on the Trident squad. So Arizona will fall to 0-1 on the season. Washington will advance to 1-0. Next up for Arizona in week number 3, they will head to Pittsburgh and take on the Riverhogs on Saturday the 18th. And Washington heads to Denver, their first road game on Saturday the 18th at the 1 p.m. block. So coming up next, we've got a couple of great games. Houston at Albuquerque and Denver at Chicago at 10:15 and 10:30 p.m. Eastern here tonight. This has been a presentation of the Simulation Football League on the Virtual Football Network. Washington wins at 17-10. For Gerald Smith, Judson Reside, Jermaine Smith, Cameron Irvine, and Matt Wilson, who's always with me in spirit, I'm Mike Dykes. Thanks for joining us.